What's going on, Cowboys Nation? And welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into what could be the most explosive Cowboys draft scenario of the entire offseason, I need you to understand something right from the jump. This is not clickbait. This is not me trying to throw out some wild headline just to get views or stir up controversy. What I am about to break down for you today is based on real insider information, actual team tendencies, and legitimate draft analysis that points to the Dallas Cowboys being one of the most aggressive teams when it comes to potentially trading up in this year's NFL draft. So, if you're ready to hear about how Jerry Jones and the front office might shock the entire league by making a massive move to secure a defensive game changer, then you need to stick with me through this entire video because we're going deep into the possibilities, the players, and the price that Dallas might be willing to pay. Now listen, I've been covering this team for a long time, and if there's one thing I know about Jerry Jones, it's that he loves making a splash, he loves the attention, he loves the drama, and most importantly, he loves when the Dallas Cowboys are at the center of the football universe. And right now, heading into draft week, all signs are pointing toward the Cowboys being extremely active. We're not just talking about sitting back at picks 12 and 20 and letting the board fall to them. No, we're talking about the real possibility that Dallas packages some picks, moves up the board, and goes after a defensive centerpiece that can transform this entire unit from day one. The question isn't whether they could do it. The question is whether they should do it, and if they do, who are they targeting? Let me paint the picture for you. The Cowboys currently hold the 12th overall pick in the first round. They also have the 20th pick. That's two chances to grab impact talent in the top 20, and that's a luxury most teams don't have. But here's where it gets interesting. There are several teams sitting ahead of Dallas in that 7 to 11 range that might be open to trading back. Why? Because not every franchise is in win now mode. Some teams want to accumulate picks, some want to move back, grab an extra second or third rounder, and still get a quality player later in the first. That creates opportunity, and if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you've spent this entire offseason preaching about fixing the defense, about getting nastier up front, about creating havoc and pressure and chaos for opposing quarterbacks, then why wouldn't you explore moving up if the right guy is sitting there? Let me throw some names at you. Guys that could realistically still be on the board in that 7 to 10 range. Guys that would make Cowboys fans lose their minds if Dallas traded up to grab them. We're talking about players like Sonny Styles, the ultra-instinctive linebacker out of Ohio State who can cover, hit, blitz, and play all over the field. We're talking about guys like Ruben Bain, an edge rusher with explosiveness and bend that can get after the quarterback from day one. We're talking about possibly even a player like Caleb Downs, the safety from Ohio State, who some analysts are calling the cleanest prospect in this entire draft class. Any one of those guys could be the kind of defensive anchor that changes the entire identity of this Cowboys defense. And if one of them slides just a little bit, if they're sitting there at pick 8 or 9, do you really think Jerry Jones is going to just sit on his hands and hope they fall to 12? I don't think so. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Trading up costs assets. You don't just move up for free. You've got to give up picks, maybe future picks, maybe players. And that's a fair concern. Draft capital matters. But let me ask you this. What's more valuable? Having a bunch of mid-round picks that might turn into rotation players, or having one true difference maker who can be a cornerstone of your defense for the next decade? History has shown us time and time again that when teams trade up and hit on the right player, it changes everything. Look at what the Kansas City Chiefs did back in 2017. They traded up and grabbed Patrick Mahomes. That move alone has led to multiple Super Bowl appearances and championships. Now, I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to find the next Mahomes on defense, but the principle is the same. If you believe in a player, if you think he's a franchise-altering talent, then you do what it takes to go get him. Let's talk about Sonny Styles for a minute, because this is a name that keeps coming up in draft circles and for good reason. This kid is special. He's not just a linebacker, he's a chess piece. He can line up in the box and stuff the run. He can drop back in coverage and match up with tight ends and running backs. He can blitz off the edge and get to the quarterback. He's got incredible instincts. He's got football intelligence that you can't teach. And he's got the kind of versatility that defensive coordinators dream about. When you have a player like that, you can disguise coverages, you can move him around pre-snap, You can create confusion for the offense. And that's exactly what the Cowboys want to do under their new defensive philosophy. They want to be multiple, they want to be aggressive, and they want to make offenses uncomfortable. Sonny Styles gives them that ability instantly. But let's say Sonny Styles is off the board. Let's say he goes earlier than expected. Then what? Well, that's where a guy like Arvell Reese comes into play. Another Ohio State product, another linebacker with crazy versatility. This guy can play off ball, he can rush the passer. He's even shown the ability to move inside and work against guards and centers in certain packages. He's athletic, he's smart, and he's tough. If the Cowboys trade up and land Arvell Reese, you're talking about adding another weapon to a defense that desperately needs playmakers. And here's the beautiful part. Both of these guys played together at Ohio State. They know each other's games, they've got chemistry. If Dallas somehow found a way to grab both of them across their two picks, whether by trading up or sitting tight, you'd be looking at an entirely new linebacker core that could compete with anybody in the league. And then there's Caleb Downs. Man, where do I even start with this kid? If you've watched any tape on him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is not just a good safety, this is a generational type talent at the position. People around the league are saying that Caleb Downs might be the smartest player in this entire draft class. Coaches and scouts who've studied him say he knows what the offense is going to do before they even snap the ball. He's got that kind of film study habit, that kind of instinct, that kind of field vision that separates the good players from the great ones. And when you combine that football IQ with his range, his tackling ability, and his ball skills, you're looking at a guy who can be the last line of defense for the next 10 years. If the Cowboys move up and grab Caleb Downs, they'd be securing the back end of their defense for the foreseeable future. So the talent is there. The opportunity might be there, but let's talk about the cost. What would it actually take for Dallas to move up from 12 to, say, 8 or 9? Well, historically, moving up a few spots in the top 15 usually costs a second-round pick, sometimes a third, depending on how badly the other team wants to move back and how many suitors there are. The Cowboys have extra capital this year. They've got 2 first-rounders. They could potentially package pick 20 along with a future pick to jump up from 12, or they could offer their second-rounder plus a future third. There are multiple ways to structure it. The key is whether Jerry Jones and the front office believe the player they're targeting is worth the price. And based on everything we've heard this offseason, based on how much they've emphasized defense, based on how aggressive they've been in free agency already, I think they're ready to pay that price if the right guy is there. Now let me be real with you for a second. Not everyone is going to agree with this strategy. There are going to be fans who say just stay put, take the best player available at 12. Don't overthink it. And I get that perspective. There's value in being patient. There's value in letting the draft come to you. But here's my counter-argument. This is the Dallas Cowboys. This is a team that's built to win now. Dak Prescott is in his prime. CeeDee Lamb is one of the best receivers in football. The offensive line is solid. The pieces are there on offense. What's been holding this team back? Defense. Specifically, pass rush and playmaking on the back end. If you have a chance to grab a guy who can solve one of those problems immediately, a guy who can be a cornerstone for years to come, then you take that chance. You don't sit back and hope. You go get your guy. And before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to make sure you're staying locked in with this channel, because we are going to be covering every single angle of the Cowboys draft. From late-breaking rumors to pick-by-pick analysis to instant reaction when Dallas is on the clock. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button right now. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single upload. And if you're enjoying this content, if you're fired up about the possibilities for this Cowboys defense, then go ahead and hit that like button. Drop a comment below and let me know who you want Dallas to target. Do you want them to trade up for Sonny Styles? Are you Team Caleb Downs? Or do you think they should stay put and let the board fall to them? I read every single comment, and I love hearing from you guys. And don't forget to share this video with your fellow Cowboys fans. The more we grow this community, the more the algorithm pushes our content, and the bigger our Cowboys Nation family becomes. Here's the bottom line, Cowboys Nation. The draft is just days away. The speculation is at an all-time high. And the Dallas Cowboys are in prime position to make a move that could change the trajectory of this entire franchise. Whether they trade up, stay put, or even trade back, the focus is crystal clear. Get better on defense. Add difference makers. Build a unit that can match the firepower on offense. And if that means being aggressive, if that means trading up and paying the price for a game changer, then I'm all for it. Jerry Jones didn't build America's team by playing it safe. He built it by making bold moves, by taking risks, and by going after greatness. So let's see if he's ready to do it again. Let's see if the Cowboys shock the world and trade up for their defensive cornerstone. Because if they do, this offseason goes from solid to legendary. Thanks for rocking with me today, Cowboys Nation. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and I'll catch you in the next one. Let's ride.